Alright, welcome back to the third video. The first one was just a quick intro to Math 15 and me. The second one was the syllabus itself. And now this one may be the more lengthy one of all of them here, is the Canvas site. I want to go over through all these little buttons that we have here. I want to go to the Files menu particularly, to the Notes, and how to get to the lectures. So we're going to do all those in this video. Let's go for it here. So the Canvas site, here it is. This is called your Canvas shell for the course. Over here, I think you guys know what to do here. This is the home page, which we were staring at right now. Underneath it would be the grades, and since I'm not a student, I can't show you that one, but it should be fairly understandable what that is. The discussion boards, I will not get in there until next week, and we'll have an introduction to that as well. But the first thing we really want to look at is the Files menu. So, Files menu, I've put in a few things already here into the course. There's the linking your Canvas to the My Math Lab or the My Lab. I will cover that in the next video. But I do want to give you guys real quick here the study guides. This guide for the final exam, it's right here. That's exactly what's going to be covered on the final. And so let me show you how those work. We'll kind of work our backwards here. So if you want to download this and have it for yourself, please don't click print right now, because what's going to happen is just going to print the screen. If you're going to do that, if you want to have this for yourself and you're going to print it out, you click the download button first, and then when you do that, you want to open it up as Acrobat Reader or Adobe Acrobat, and once you open it up, it's going to be a file for you. But I just want to go through it real quickly here. So the first column is the question that's going to be on the exam. The second one, where's it's coming from, the section it's coming from. And the third column is just the directions. So you should have seen this somewhere during the course in regards to your homework assignments. So if you scroll all the way down, you notice, hey, look at that, I have 30 questions. The last two questions actually come from 8.5. And here's the directions that I need to be aware of when I do that. Can you graph a nonlinear inequalities in two variables? If you can do that, you finished up 8.5 and you know what you're doing. I want to go to the midterm. The midterm is the exact same setup. So study guide for the midterm. If you want to print it out yourself, again, click the download button, open up in Adobe Acrobat and go from there. So the midterm, what does that entail? It entails 30 questions. I know that because of the 30 down here. Also, I noticed that, look, the sections that the questions are coming from, there's chapter 1.1, 1.1, so I have two questions that are going to come out of 1.1. I have two questions that are going to come out of 1.2. One question, which is question number 5, is going to come out of 1.3, and so on and so forth. So notice the midterm is going to test you on chapters 1, 2, and 3. That's what we'll be by the time the midterm rolls around. Alright, hopefully that's understandable for you. The SLO, or the Student Learning Outcomes exam, is a little bit different. This one, since it is on the syllabus already, the directions are there already, and I just kind of gave you a little information of where to find it. It is not on the, this should have been My Math Lite, not the XYZ Homework. That's a different publisher. It's going to be on the Canvas site. You go to Math 15 SLO exam, then you have exactly 30 minutes to fulfill it. This one is multiple choice, and you only have one attempt. So when you're ready, when you click submit, you are done. So you have until August 1st, a minute before midnight, to complete this assignment. And there are 20 questions. So there's 5 questions coming from each of these pieces. So there's 5 questions on, can you successfully add, subtract, multiply, divide, and compose functions? There'll be 5 questions on solving logarithmic and logarithmic equations. There'll be 5 questions on solving an exponential equation, and there'll be 5 questions on solving a trigonometric equation. Alright, hopefully that's a good thing there. I'll mention this one later. The lecture notes, that's the one I really want to get to here. So what I've done is I've created in PDF format all the lecture notes you need for the whole entire semester. And just like the study guides, if you want to print them out for yourself, you want to go over here, click the download button, open them in Adobe Acrobat and then print out later. So this is notes that I've developed throughout the whole entire semester, and my lectures are based upon these notes, and I'll tell you where to find the lectures in just a bit here. So I will go over these problems here on a video lecture that I have made up. And pretty much you're almost like sitting inside a classroom and you're listening to my voice and you're going through these problems here. That's how we'll do it for this semester. So what I want you to do is download them, keep a big old file for yourself if you like, and now we're going to go to the YouTube channel on how to find the lecture notes. Oh, you know what, let me click on a different one here. Alright, clicking on the YouTube channel. And what you want to do is you want to go and search for something called Math-4B. That's the YouTube channel I have. So it's M-A-T-H, Math-4B. I created this channel a long time ago, and I stuck with it here. So you're going to look for the little gray circle with an M inside it, clicking on that. And you want to go to the playlists right over here and click on created playlists, because I'll give you all of them at one time. Created playlists. And as you scroll down here, you're going to find out M15 or Math 15 lectures. There are 44 of them. You want to click on them. And I have something called Chapter P, which is the preparatory chapter. So if you are really stuck and you want a kind of refresher to algebra, Chapter P is the refresher to algebra. P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6. So there's 6 sections on this massive review of algebra. What we want to do is we want to start off with Chapter 1, Section 1 right here. So clicking on this video here, and let it download real quickly here and set up. Let's stop there. Alright, so this is where you begin. This is a lecture series and you just go with it here. So these are all the lectures for the whole entire class. They're sitting right here, right underneath this playlist. Chapter 1, here's the start of Chapter 2, and you just follow this playlist. So if you want to subscribe, go for it. If you want to just make it so that it is one of your favorites over here, so you kind of have just quick access to it, go for it. Make it as easy as possible to get to these lectures or link to these lectures. Alright, there's this particular one called the second edition. So this is my second version of it. I was only able to make this one video, but the rest of them, they're pretty much the same here. Let's see. There's Chapter 3 is a long lecture. Chapter 3, Section 2. So notice I broke it up into 2 different pieces. Or at least that's how the class got split off here. Alright, you'll notice some redundancies as well here. Here's Chapter 4, Section 1 and 2. But then there's Chapter 4, Section 2, full lecture. So I probably want to listen to this one. This one will give you a better idea of Chapter 4, Section 2. Then Chapter 4 also is a very, very short chapter. So be mindful when we're going to be doing Chapter 4. Pretty much it's almost like a half a week of time to do Chapter 4. Alright, Chapter 5. Again, a second edition. This is just a different way of doing it. And notice we go all the way to Chapter 7, and we'll go all the way to Chapter 8. Now, I will show you here that some sections we will skip. So notice this is Chapter 8, Section 1, Chapter 8, Section 3. There's a no Section 2 here. So it is skipped. It is skipped on the assignments calendar. It is skipped for the final. It's all gone. We don't cover 8.2. We also don't cover, if you see it, 7.5, and we don't cover 7.3. Those are not really necessity items. And the summer semester is just so quick and so fast. There's really no time to cover those sections, so I tossed those out. Alright, but again, link this as much as you possibly can so that you have easy access to it. Let's jump back to our Files menu. That's where you get the files. This My Lab, I will look at that in the next video. Modules is actually the home page. I set everything up in terms of modules, and these two are the same. Pages, just a different way to see it. What I really want to get it to is the online office hours. If we do hold it during the summer session, it most likely will be right here, and you'll see a little calendar of events. You click on it and you are into the online office hour. I do want to mention two more things here. I left West Hills College Coalinga, West Hills College Lemoore. This is called NetTutor, and every single student, you guys have been given access for 40 hours of online tutoring by a person with a degree in the field. So if you want to, and this is open to all the classes, not just math. So if you're taking biology class, you can go and on a virtual whiteboard, you can talk to a tutor that has at least a bachelor's degree in biology. What we want to get to for our class is the math class. So let's go over here a little bit more. There it is. So math, algebra, basic math, and pre-calculus. So clicking on that, let's see if it works for me. There it is. You have kind of options here. You can meet with a live tutor, and you have 40 hours of live tutoring. It is paid for by the college. It's free for you, so take advantage of it if you need to. That's one way to access a tutor. The other one is just to drop off a question. So drop off a question, and within 24 hours you get a response. And this right here is kind of where you can get your responses. So if you did this with a live tutor, your session is recorded down here. If you dropped off a question, then your feedback is right over here. So this is kind of like your go-to to do that. So it's a pretty neat setup. Please take advantage of it. Also tell me how it went if you guys did take advantage of it, so I can recommend it or not recommend it in future semesters. Alright, so it's available to Coalinga students. It's also available to Lemoore students. There's kind of different access codes to them. That's why it's kind of separated. But pretty much 40 hours per semester for you to get online help. Alright, we covered the Canvas site, and we also covered the YouTube video. So there it is. Hopefully that's going to give you at least a little head start. Let me jump back to the home page. When you enter the home page, you should see the introductory videos, and each of these weeks will come up as they show up. Each of the weeks will show up either Monday morning or Sunday late at night here. I do want to take you to week 1 since we already started here. Clicking on week 1 will give you what you need to do. You need to watch all the intro videos, and you need to watch all the lecture notes, or get all the lecture notes, and then you click on the YouTube channel. Now I just listed the first one for you, but again, you should do all of chapter 1 for week 1, and then complete the online homework assignments. That will be in the next video on how to connect My Lab Math with the Canvas site. Alright, one more thing on the Files menu. Alright, the important one right here is this one right here. It's the Math-15 assignment schedule. So if you want to print this out, well, that would be the best. You will know when things are due. So I would keep this somewhere. This is for June, July, and August. We have the start of our class on June 10th, and technically I put in 1.1 should be due. Remember for chapter 1, remember for the syllabus introductory lecture, is that all of chapter 1 stuff is due on Monday of next week. Then after that, then 2.1 is going to be due on Tuesday, 2.2, 2.3 is going to be due on Wednesday, and so on and so forth. But you kind of should sort of have this in mind here about this little schedule right here. So you're roughly either finishing 1 or 2 sections a day. Now that's pretty tough. I gotta say, this is a very intense class. It's a 5-unit class already. in terms of a regular semester, and now you're in a summer semester, so you're going to do this in 8 weeks as opposed to in 18 weeks, so almost double the workload. So if you're almost double the workload, a regular class should require you to have 5 hours of lecture and 5 hours of homework, and you're doubling it, so you should put aside for yourself probably about 20 hours a week minimum in order to do this class. Alright, week 2 starts off with chapter 1, post-test is due. Then also discussion number 1 is open, and then discussion number 1 closes. That's week 2. Then you go on to week 3. Then to week 4, you should, July 4th, we're going to take off. That is a national holiday. There is no class. That doesn't mean you can't work in Math 15, just means it can't require you to turn anything in on that Thursday. But Friday, you have chapter 3 that's due, and there is our midterm exam, July 8th, as well as discussion number 4 open. So chapter 4 is really quick. There's only 4 sections on it. Get it done in a week. Turn around, there's chapters 5 in mid-July, chapter 6 towards the end of July, and chapter 7 almost at the tail end of July, and we start chapter 8 already. So it goes pretty fast. Notice also that chapter 5, you're doing 2 sections a day. Chapter 6, 2 sections a day. There's just no way we can get through that. So really be open, especially during these 2 weeks right here, mid-July and second to last week in July. You're doing 2 sections a day. So hopefully by then you're sort of caught up, and maybe you're even ahead by then. Alright, August, there's only 2 days of instruction in August here, so August 1st we have 8.5, and hopefully you finish that up before August 1st. You'll also have the student learning outcome exam that's due that, so you don't have to do it exactly on that day. You can do it any time, but that's when the due date is going to be for it. And then that Friday is just the final exam. You come in, you take the final exam, and you are done with the course. Alright, so that's very important. I would say print this out and sort of have it with you somewhere. Click the download button. Open this up in Acrobat Reader or Adobe Acrobat. And then after that, then you can, let me bring it from my other screen here. Okay, and then print this out. So then you have it with you and good. Alright, let me jump back to where we're at, back to the home page, and hopefully that gave you a quick tour of the campus, of the Canvas site, and where to find the lectures for the class. Alright, and again, I wish you well.